Okay, so the house is quiet. The boys went out for a little bit, so I thought that I would do a real-time video for this page until they get home, and then I might have to finish it tomorrow. We'll see. But I'll try to get as much done as I possibly can. I made a page kit, which I've uploaded before these, and I think 11 pages that I can do. So this is the first one, so this should be up before this one. So what I want to do is at the end is kind of show you all the pages that we got done with these page kits, and then what is left over. So this one will have been done voiceover because everybody was here and he was super loud in here. So I just figured that now, since I'm all alone, I can do this one in real time and talk about the story and all that stuff and kind of catch up and talk about what's going to be going on this month on my YouTube channel and all that good stuff. So like I said, I had put this page kit, these page kits together. I had started with 3 6x6 pattern papers. I pulled some of there, and of course I needed some background papers. So then I just grabbed a My Mind's Eye paper pad, the one that has 180 pages in it, and I made some page kits. And then once all that was done, then I added some embellishments. And the embellishments, it's a lot of it is stuff that I had bought at Crop and Create, and also just some orders from the January CHA. I didn't buy any of the 12 by 12. I bought a few of the embellishments. So that's what I'm using for this. And we're gonna get started. I had this left over from the 6x6 that hadn't been used. So I thought maybe I will try and pull some in that I didn't put there. And then once I got all the embellishments, I just went through I went through each page and put a little journaling card. And then when I looked at that, I thought, what page is this, what photos does this remind me of? And this was the big, LOL. And I thought of a story of when we were hiking up the mountain, and I want to tell the story. So I thought that was perfect. So I did that for each page kit. And then once I kind of figured what pictures I'd want to do, then I went through and got this stack of photos, and I just went through them. And this stack of photos, I just got it printed at my local it's like a drugstore, and they had the option of doing 4x4. So I thought, hey, that's fun. Let's just do 4x4 instead of the 4x6, and it was the same price. So I just decided to do that, and I'm excited about those photos because they're all from last summer, but I haven't scrapped any of the stories, so it makes it exciting that I want to, do the stories now about it. So now I had used this on, I was going to say I used this on the last layout. Could I use it to match my photo? But no. Not even a little bit. You know what I think I'll do though is I'll find some black and I'll mount it on black, and then I'll mount it, or maybe I'll mount it on green and then on black, and then it'll really show on that. Maybe that's what I'll do. Yeah. Okay. So this picture is just of a sign. Okay, it says parking this way, and then there was another sign that said something cogs something railway this way, and it was very it caused us a lot of stress. Like I mentioned in one of my last videos, on the way down the hill we went a different way than what we went up. And so as we were going down the mountain, I hurt my knee. Almost, I'd say about a third of the way down, I hurt my knee. And it was quite a bit longer the way we went down than the way we went up. I mean, and it makes sense because one way maybe was more straight and the other way was maybe more wavy, you know, like, so it was quite a bit longer. And plus I was injured. So after a while, the kids were just like, oh, we just, you know, they just went ahead. They didn't really say anything. All of a sudden I started, you know, hollering and they couldn't hear us. So I was like, oh, great. Now, what if there's a divide somewhere and they don't go the way that they're supposed to? And that's exactly what happened. Oh, I just noticed I put it on the side. I'm not gonna, this is not thick paper, so it's gonna rip it. Usually I try to put it in the middle, but I was chatting. And the reason I don't like to put it on here is because now when I cut this apart, I'm going to end up with a ton of scraps instead of still a full 12 by 12 that I could put on my, you know, on my shelf of cardstock. Now I'm going to be left with this, and this is what I don't like. But anyway, I'll try to make sure to use it very soon. So they were ahead, and when we got to this intersection, I mean, it's in the wood, so intersection is used loosely. But when we got there, I was like, oh no, I bet you they went towards the part that says parking, and we actually parked at the railways, you know, station or whatever. And my knee was hurting so bad. I was like, this other way was an extra hour to get there. And where we were parked, it was like 10 minutes. And I was just like, I cannot go an extra hour. So my husband said, well, let's go to where we need to go. And then if they're not there, if they went the wrong way, then we'll take the truck and we will drive to this parking place, because it was quite a bit. It was about, I'd say, a 10-minute drive. So about an hour walk. Different. So I said, okay. So we did that. We got at the parking spot. The kids were not there. So the mama and me, not panicking too much at this point, but I'm starting to feel it. I'm starting to feel the panic. At this point, it's about 5 o'clock. So, you know, around 8-ish, about 5:30. So around 8-ish, it's in the woods. It's going to start getting dark. So we don't have a lot of time to find these kids. So we go down to the other, where they would have ended up. They're not there. They're not on the road coming up to, you know, where we had parked. Because I knew as soon as they would get out there, they would go, oh, this is the wrong place. We need to go back up or whatever. I mean, they're pretty good direction-wise. It's just, anyway, this was like 4 hours up and we went a different trail and all this stuff. So that was why they ended up going the wrong way. But anyway, so we get down there, no kids. So at this point, I'm starting to panic a little bit. As we were just getting there, we had about 5 minutes left, 10 minutes left. Actually, when we got at that sign, I said to my husband, I said, okay, I know I've been complaining about my knee all this time. I said, I don't know what's going on with my toes, but it ain't good. So when we got to the truck, I took my shoes off and my socks, and because my knees were hurting, I was walking on the tip of my toes, and because of that, my toes were hitting the end of my shoe, and both my big toes were blue, like blue, black. I could hardly walk on them, so I had a hard time putting my shoes back on, but I mean, I had to because we were looking for the kids, and I couldn't walk around, you know. And so anyway, so he said, okay, drop me off. So he stayed at the second, like where we had to drive. He said, drop me off there. I'll come up the trail and meet them, because if they turned around, you know, we'll just keep doing this all night, and you go at the top, and then that way if they come out, then you'll see them. And of course, we're in the States, so they have no cell phone coverage, and plus we're in the mountains, so how much cell phone coverage can you have, right? So there's no cell phone coverage. I'm starting to panic. This is like 45. At this point, it's like 45 minutes later. We still haven't found them. So I go at the end of the trail where we came out. And about every, 5 minutes or so, there's always like new hikers that come out. And I ask them, did you see some, young adults? Because they don't look like teenagers. They were all like in their, except for Josh, they're all in their 20s. My daughter was 22 and her boyfriend was 25. And my son was 16, but he's tall for his age. So I'm sure he didn't look 16. Everybody was saying, no, we saw a couple of kids, but no, not 3 of them. So anyway, I'm yelling like, Kate, Josh, because at this point, I'm starting to panic, I have to say, because at this point, it's past 6 o'clock. It's like 6:15, 6:30, and I'm like, oh my goodness, we have about an hour and a half, and then it's going to start getting dark. Am I going to have to go inside the building here? I didn't know what time their building closed, so then I'm like, do I have to go inside the building and tell them that, we lost our kids? Which I felt totally stupid about. I mean, how do you lose your kids on a mountain, So I was so upset because I was like, they know better. They know if there's a cross, they should have stayed there and not went off somewhere. And so anyway, I'm asking every hiker. Nobody's seen them. So this goes on. Like I said, at this point, my heart is just pounding and I'm starting to panic. But I'm trying to talk myself down, like, it's okay, like, we'll find them and all this stuff. And so I keep walking back to the trail, going down. There was like a not a step, but yeah, well, it was like steps that you could go down. And I would go down there, and you were part in the woods. So then I kept, yelling, and then I thought, I can whistle. I can whistle, and I thought, my daughter is going to recognize my whistle. I know she will. I know she will. I know she will. So I start whistling. And within a few minutes, I hear my daughter. I hear you, Mom. We're coming. It was the best thing that I had ever heard in all my life. I was just so happy. But at the same time, I was so mad. I don't know how you can be so upset and so happy at the same time. But I was. And so anyway, then I see them coming. They're with some hikers. Why is that so small? It's supposed to be 6 inches. Oh, it probably is. I see them coming with some hikers. And they're talking to the hikers and they're laughing. It's like 2 older gentlemen. And so they come out before they do and they say, so were you looking for that? And I was like, yes. So anyway, on the other side, which I wasn't hearing, my husband was also whistling because he was coming up from the other side, which was like an hour away, right? And she heard him whistling too, and she yelled out that they were going to come out. They were closer to my side, so they were going to come out that way. So anyway, so they come out, and I was looking at them, and they're all laughing because they know that Mama Bear is upset. Or what they call me is Mama Frog. Do you remember that Tarzan movie? The Tarzan, the cartoon movie? And I think it was the second one. And it's some of them, Tarzan is with some gorillas, and then there's the mama gorilla with her 2 son gorillas, and she tells them like bedtime stories about Mama Frog. Well, I've been Mama Frog ever since that movie, because the kids, they always say Mama Frog. But anyway, so they knew that Mama Frog was not impressed. So they are kind of laughing, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, I'm so happy, but I just want to wring your little necks. I was hugging them and I was wanting to wring their little necks at the same time, but I was just so happy that they were safe and they were there. So that's the story that I want to tell for this, because it was a big thing. And what had happened was they went down that, and we went down that path for a little bit, and we were yelling and whistling, and they were long gone. Well, when we didn't show up, they turned around and they were afraid that I got hurt more. So they went back to this intersection, and Katie's boyfriend ran far back up the mountain to try to see if we were there. And they were asking people, they were saying that we were lost. And to try to find us. And my daughter and my son stayed at this intersection. Well, we were long gone. So anyway, it all worked out, but oh my goodness, what I was, like I said, so I want to put this, because daily note, when you get at a crossing like that, you stop or you put a sign about which way you went. So I want to put this on there for sure. LOL. I want to put the story, but that's kind of a long story. So how am I going to put that story on there? Because like I said, it's quite long. I could put that big tag and put as much of the story as I can on there. I mean, you know, like paraphrase it. What I'm going to do is cut this in pieces so I can use this on other parts of the layout. And then I don't know if I want to keep that or if I'm going to fussy cut all the way around and use that somewhere. So I know I want to put a thing here, an embellishment cluster here, and I know I probably want to put one here, maybe up here. I'll see, there or up there, depends. We will think about it. And I'll probably put that LOL there because it's huge. And maybe I want to keep that nope for a small embellishment cluster because the other ones are pretty big. Okay. So if I have an embellishment cluster here, and then I have one here, I could do one down here. Excuse me. I could use that because we were, you know, there was all kinds of wilderness out there, so we're kind of all kinds of leaves. I could use this camera if I wanted to. I'm not sure if I do. Let's see if I can tuck this a little bit more. And then what it does, it gives me a little bit more room to do an embellishment cluster here. But I think I am going to cut this out. And then I can use that daily note on something. But, so these are from the Vicky Bouton. It has a lot of, they're like notes that you can stick on. There they are. And there is a ton, like each one of them. Look how many. So I'll be able to use those over and over and over again. So that was a good buy. I'm happy I got that. I am, you know, you don't have to use it, all of them, as a sticky note. Like this one, I'm going to cut apart. I think a lot of them, if I can cut them apart, I will. And then just use them. Not going to be too worried about this side of the, I probably didn't even have to cut this side because I'm going to use this part. So what I'm going to do is cut off the big pieces, and then all that's left is the little pieces, and it makes it that much easier to cut. And you know, when you're cutting, you try not to cut like this, but keep your scissors, just do one cut and then just turn your paper. And not the scissors. Okay. I'm going to cut it right there because I still want to use that daily note. Nope. And miss. I don't really need all that fancy dandy stuff. I just want to put somewhere, you know, daily note. You don't go off on a different path. Stay at the intersection or leave something that gives a clue which way you went. Which I was so sure they had gone that way because it said parking, but there was no way I was doing that. There was no way my feet and my knee were letting me do that. There. So this feels pretty good. I still have to add some stuff, which I have some of this stuff I didn't put in the paper kit, in the page kits. I just left it on the side, and then I can just add as I'm putting the page together. Now, some of these I outlined in black, and I'm kind of not liking it. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this away. And I was talking about my little container the other day of what I put my baby wipes in. This is it right here. That way nothing else gets wet. Sorry. That's how I ended up breaking the other one, from dropping it like that. This is one of my favorite colors. I use it over and over and over again. It's the evergreen bow. Go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the black so that the blue is more prominent. Okay, so every video I'm asking, you know, different questions. So this time around, I'd like to know what TV shows or series or anything like that that you're binge watching that you're really loving. I'm almost done. I'm watching Colony right now, and I'm almost done, and I know I'm going to need something else to watch. And I like to watch stuff, I don't care how old it is, I just like to watch stuff from the beginning and then just binge watch it. So tell me some shows that you really like. On my last video, somebody said that they started rewatching Friends, and I was like, yes, I totally want to watch that again, because I used to watch that like years ago when it was like on every Thursday night at 9 o'clock, and we would all sit and we would watch Friends. Like, I just absolutely love that show, but it's been years and years and years. I mean, I've watched episodes here and there, like reruns, but I'd like to watch it right from the beginning and watch the whole thing. So, but those are half-hour shows. So you know, those you can kind of watch maybe 3 or 4 of them, and then, you know, you don't have to binge watch them. Although there is sort of a thread story in the background, you know, with Rachel and Ross and all that stuff, there's still, you don't have to binge watch it. Not that you have to binge watch any shows, but I just like to watch them from beginning to end. Like, for example, we hadn't watched the Big Brother Canada at all. We had taped all of them. And when it was done, then we started watching them. And it was so awesome. Like, we would watch 2-3 episodes a night. And then we didn't have to wait. We would just, oh, okay, yeah, no, I'm tired. Okay, I'm going to bed. And then that's when we would stop watching. And then the next night, we'd sit down and we'd watch a few episodes. And I love that. It was so fun. We just got to watch it from beginning to end, and we didn't, oh, it's all messy. We didn't have to wait, and I really, really enjoyed that. So I want to watch something else like that. Like I said, I'm watching Colony right now, and there's only one season on Netflix. The second season, I think, is going to start soon, and so I'm watching that right now. I only have a few episodes left, and then I'm going to be done. So I'd like to have something else to watch. And as far as books, right now, I'm trying to read only one series at a time. Sometimes, like if I'm nearing the end of a series, like I was reading To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han, and I was on the last book, so then I started a new series so that when I finished that series, I wouldn't be on a big book hangover, and then I wouldn't feel like reading anything. So what I'm trying to do is, like this morning, I finished a book. Well, tonight I'm going to start a book. I try to not go X amount of days without reading. I try to, as soon as I finish a book, that I start another one right away. And that's how last year I read 76 books, I believe. And this year I'm at 47 or something like that, 48 or 50 or something like that. That's how I'm doing it, is as soon as I finish a book, I try to start another one. But man, you can have a big book hangover. I love series, but I don't like finishing series. Ugh. It's like finishing a TV show. Like when it's done forever and ever, it's just like, oh, you're going to miss those characters so much. Okay, so what I did was I used my evergreen bow and I inked all the edges, and now I'm ready to put everything together. And all these embellishments were all from the embellishments that I had kind of pulled. And up to now, I haven't pulled anything new to put on this page. I'm just using what I had pulled. And these are Vicky Bouton's labels. And they are sticky back, which is awesome. But I have to say, if it was going to make them cheaper, it doesn't bother me to glue them. You know what I mean? If it was going to make them cheaper, then don't put sticky back on them. If you ended up with more, let's say, labels, I think I'd rather have that. Okay. So I'm going to put my tag down, and then I'll do my journaling, only because then I'll know where I can journal and where I can't. Because it is going to go underneath here, sort of at an angle. Okay. And the way I had it last time, you could still see that little hole there. So, plus I want to give myself a little bit more room to journal. So that's why I removed everything. And now I don't have that awkward ending of the tag there. And I'm going to put that there. I think I'll put that underneath. I kind of like that cluster, but first I ink the edges. So today is Sunday, July 2nd. Yesterday was Canada Day. And I was sick all day. So we did absolutely nothing. But today I feel much better. So I think it was probably just from, oh, last week was something else. With it was my son's graduation, so we had a ton of people here for quite a few days, and just getting meals ready for everybody, and just going to graduation and practices and all this stuff. And now it's all done. All done. Actually, that's where he went. He went because somebody at the graduation said if he wanted a summer job just to go see them. And so that's where he's gone right now. Because to save money for next year's college, right? This year is taken care of because we did the whole art ESP when he was a baby. Till now, the last payment was in June. So, but his next year's are not. So he needs to work. Could I put that right over top of that? I think so. Do I want that up there or here? I'm going to put it there, and I'll tell you why. Here, it totally feels disconnected compared to here. And that's just a preference. I just don't want to see the flowers in between my cluster and the photo. So, you know, if you like this, then you could do that. I just like that I'm connecting, because I find a cluster belongs more if it's connected. So now it's connected to the photo block, and then this will go here, and I find this nope is kind of just sticking out there, so I'm going to take the rest of that label and I'm going to stick it there. And so this page is coming together pretty quickly. So on my Facebook group a couple of days ago, I talked about scrapbooking block, or, you know, like writers have writer's block. And definitely, if you don't scrapbook for a while, it feels like you have scrapper's block. It feels like when you start scrapbooking again, it's like you've never scrapbooked ever before, and you don't even know where to begin. And I have to say, yes, in the last, you know, year or so, I have scrapbooked, but not to the extent that I normally scrapbooked. For years, I would scrapbook every day. And in the last year, I maybe scrapbooked I maybe scrapbooked like once a month. And I would do a layout or two, and then I would be back to not scrapbooking for a while. So this is part of why I'm, you know, doing this, is because I find when I have this scrapbooker's block, if you want to call it that, if I put a page, a kit together, and then make some page kits, and then I start scrapbooking, then it kind of takes me out of that slump. And then as I scrapbook more and more, I don't feel as lost as I'm scrapbooking. I'm like, yes, okay, now let's do this, and let's do this picture, and let's do this story. And especially like even the journaling, that's how I journal too. I can't just do a little bit of journaling. I gotta do a whole bunch of journaling at once. So when I'm journaling, does that go? Yeah. When I'm journaling, the first, you know, page or so that I'm journaling, I'm like, oh, I have no idea. But then as I'm journaling more and more, I'm like, okay, yes. The mojo kind of comes back, and then the stories are a little bit more detailed. And another another reason why I scrapbooked, and I've mentioned this a lot, is because it is a big stress reliever for me. And I found that with the job that I had or have, if I expressed myself with scrapbooking, it really took the stress level down. And, you know, lo and behold, in the last year, I haven't scrapbooked that much just because of circumstances, and my stress level went through the roof. And now I'm part-time. So it did its job for, you know, quite a few years. There, I think I'm gonna, because that little heart, I wanted to put hearts everywhere else. So I totally forgot where I was going with this. So yes, that's how I'm going to get out of this scrapbooking slump. Is I'm going to get a whole bunch of pages done this month. I'm going to scrapbook every day for the month of July. And I can tell you already, like, it's only like the second, and already I was like, oh, I just can't. But it was like, nope. You have to go. And once I get started, I'm okay. It's just to get started. I must have come up here for that first page that I did yesterday. I must have come up here 25 times, and every time I was like, oh, I don't know what I want to do. And then I'd walk away and think, okay, I got to think about it a little bit more. And then finally I just came upstairs and said, okay, just cut the paper. Cut the paper and then go from there. And then it just happened. It was a lot of... Okay, so I don't like that enamel dot. It's just too big. So I'm going to put that one down there. And I'm going to put the itty bitty one up there. Okay, so I think, what could I put as a title? I gotta find a title. And I'm gonna do my journaling, but I am gonna do it off camera. But I like to put something. Maybe like, really? Because I think I said that a few times. Really? Really? Kids, you know better. Really? It all worked out. And when we left there, we went to a steak place. Can't even remember the place of it. I don't even know if I took a picture of it. I don't know if I took pictures while we were there. We were so tired. And we all had like massive steaks. It was so good. And we ate everything. Because we had done, I had a Fitbit on, and we had done 30,000 steps in that one day. 30,000 plus. So it was, we were starving. I mean, we had brought like snacks with us. I'm just going to put that there because there's a label here and a label here. It's a little different, but it's got black and white, so I'm good with that. Let's see if there's anything else. Awesome. I don't know if it was awesome. Oh, yes. Kind of a big deal. Yes. It kind of is of a big deal. When you get, I don't know if I want to put it right in the middle. off to the side. With this cluster. Yeah, I think I'll put it with this cluster. Sorry, keep coughing. Hopefully I'll remember to edit all those out. Okay, so now I will put some white splatters, and this is the Hero Arts white. And then I'm going to go get the black. I know it's going to be black on black, but I think it'll still it'll still show. Ah, I forgot to cover my photo. There. Probably why I'm coughing. So hopefully I'll remember to edit those out, and if I don't, I am so sorry, but I'm doing so many videos. I hope I remember that the one with kind of a big deal, that I remove all the coughing. I know it's close to the end there, so I'm trying to edit a couple of videos every day. Because in the month of July, I'm not working a lot, but I'm still working 5 days, so I got to make sure that I just made a mess. I got to make sure that I upload the video so it's done for that day. Oh, okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that was a lot. Okay. That's not going to suck it up enough. Just a sec. Okay. Try to suck up most of that, so it's not so much. There. That's better. Do you know what I'm going to do? I can lift this. I'm going to wash this little heart. There we go. I'm going to move this so it covers the one. The heart is going to cover most of the other. There you go. Not so bad. Okay, now I got to be careful not to make any more messes. I think I did there, but okay. So maybe I'll wait till this dries a little bit more. And the thing with the white ink, it takes forever to dry. But I'm just going to put 3 little things of black thread. Oops. In each cluster, just to add a little bit. Another thing I want to do this month is, I'm starting with thread, but what I want to do is, I got the new Stitch Happy machine, sewing machine, and I want to start using it a whole lot more. So I figure if I'm going to use thread, it's going to put me in the mindset of using my sewing machine, because I should be using it before I put all this stuff down, right? Okay. Just gonna lift it, stick some glue under there. Made a little bit of mess, but I'm almost afraid to try to fix it because there was so much a while ago. There, that's better. Okay. Well, I think that's going to be it for this layout. All I have left, the only thing I didn't use was this hello. That's pretty good. And the only thing I pulled in was the thread and the enamels. enamel shapes to finish off. That's pretty good. And the story's going to be told. So one for the bucket. That's it. And I actually was thinking of maybe pulling one of these in, but I decided not to. I could have put it here, but I decided to keep it for another layout. So that's it. That's going to complete this layout, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.